Neya Shanhawe Jutkotskana Agahak Neya Shanhawe Jutkotskana Agahak Neya Shanhawe Jutkotskana Neya Shanhawe Jutkotskana Agahak Neya Shanhawe Jutkotskana Agahak Neya Shanhawe Jutkotskana Agahak Neya Shanhawe Jutkotskana Neya Shanhawe Jutkotskana Agahak Neya Shanhawe Jutkotskana Agahak Neya Shanhawe Jutkotskana Agahak Neya Shanhawe Jutkotskana Shanhawe Jutkotskana Agahak
मोक्ष का आनंद दे दो आनंद दे दो माँ, सहस्त्रार में आ जाओ माँ, सहस्त्रार में आ जाओ माँ। तेरे चरणों में मुझे ले लेना, ओ माँ, शुद्ध प्रेम से मुझे भर देना, मेरे सहस्त्रार में आकर, ओ आशीर्वाद अनंत देना, सहस्त्रार में आ जाओ माँ, सहस्त्रार में आ जाओ माँ। मैं भूला हूँ भटका भी हूँ, ओ माँ, तेरी शरण में अब आया हूँ माँ, खोल देना सहस्त्रार मेरा, ओ माँ, इतनी सी है विनती सुन लेना, सहस्त्रार में आ जाओ माँ, सहस्त्रार में आ जाओ माँ, मोक्ष का आनंद दे दो माँ, मोक्ष का आनंद दे दो माँ, सहस्त्रार में आ जाओ माँ, सहस्त्रार में आ जाओ माँ। श्री माँ निर्मल माँ, श्री माँ निर्मल
अनंत आशीर्वाद आहे.
Jai Shri Mataji, everyone. Let's welcome to tonight's program. Let's put our bandhan in the water and put our feet in and raise our kundalinis and put ourselves in a bandhan. Just settle our attention with a few deep breaths. Actually, Chris, I'm here by myself today, so I've given you co-host. If you see people in, if you don't mind admitting them, please.
Okay.
Thank you. So we've just got slightly different program today. We've got, we'll be doing a little bit of clearing when settling our attention as we are doing the Footsoak. Then we've got a talk of Shemataji. So today I would like to introduce the concept of using Shemataji's talks and the vibrations of sound during her talk to then use that as a clearing cleansing technique to settle our attention, let our attention be on the sahasrara, to absorb the vibrations, to then introspect and look at ourselves and our own growth as we are doing, because the whole journey through Sahaj, the whole concept of our seeking and finding Sahaj, getting our realization is all about our growth and our depth in meditation. The talk is a little bit too long, so I will pause at midway, unless people don't mind or want to listen. Just put a post in the chat, and then we'll just sit in a bit of silent meditation to absorb that vibrations in silence that at the Sahasrara that we have got. So let's start with just settling our attention. So let's move our attention to the Muladhara.
See, this is Hamsa Chakra. Now, see, this is Hamsa Chakra.
So let's keep our attention settled on the Muladhara. We talk of Muladhara, with Sri Ganesha being the Muladhara being the foundation that the whole subtle system stands on. But Sri Ganesha, Srimataji says, Sri Ganesha is also like the vice chancellor of the university, where you've got a department head for every department, but the vice chancellor oversees and is still the boss of all the departments. So Sri Ganesha is still established on every chakra, the innocence, and in a way we still need his permission. So the more our Muladhara is established, the more it's in balance, the more it's flowing through. It then also still gives that permission at the next energy center and all the other energy centers for them to work and help get into balance. So here we'll just ask a little prayer. I will say, please, Sri Ganesha, come inside us, establish within us, be seated on your throne at the Muladhara, not only on the Muladhara, but on every chakra of my subtle system, of my body. Say, please, Sri Ganesha, come inside us and be seated on your throne, not only on the Muladhara, but every chakra in my body. And as we're saying the request from our heart, the prayer from our heart, with humility, you're still watching the vibrations on your hands, just noticing what you're feeling, what the blockages you're feeling, so that we slowly work on them and we remedy those. We cleanse those energy centers to remove the blockages, to then help establish our realization, establish our spirit, the attention on the Sahasrara, and the ability to allow us to stay in the thoughtless state for as long as possible after meditation, or to achieve that thoughtless state even for a second during our meditation. So that nectar of joy, of love, of divine can flow through us and we can experience that in our heart. The part of that is also the quality of discretion, discrimination between what's right and wrong, good and bad, the quality at the level of our hamsa, which is right in between our eyebrow. So here, as Srimataji is saying, we'll just listen to a very short talk where she's talking about the hamsa, and then we'll say the mantra after that and work on the hamsa. But a good way is to just use our right Vishuddhi finger, the first pointing finger, in between our eyebrow, And then just gently massage. As we are saying the mantra, as we are listening to the video, just massaging gently our Hamsa chakra. This is one of the only chakras that's actually not in line to all the other chakras, and the only chakra that is in connection to the external environment. So let's work on that.
Now, see, this is Hamsa chakra. So you have to say that Tvameva Sakshat Hansa Chakra Swamini Sakshat Sri Mataji Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. See, open up. Now say it, all of you, because just not catching. Now put your finger like this. And now say it.
Just continue massaging. And we'll say the mantra. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Hamsa Chakra Swamini Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. And once more. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Hamsa Chakra Swamini Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Continuing again, we again ask also Sri Ganesha as the destroyer of negativity to help balance that and open our Hamsa a little bit more. So we continue massaging. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Omkara Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. And both hands on your lap. Just watching your vibrations. Watching what's happening on your hands. Just putting our attention on the middle of our forehead. Again, we can massage the Agya chakra with our right ring finger as we are saying the mantra to open, or we can just give bandhan and just remove the blockage here. Again, the surrender of our ego and super ego. We say the mantra for Sri Mahat Ahankara. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahat Ahankara Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. One mantra to Shri Mahat Manasa. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahata Manasa Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devyai Namo Namaha. Moving our attention to the Sahasrara, just watching our attention, letting the thoughts flow through, watching the vibrations on our hands again. We can use our thumb to just massage the Sahasrara on our palm, the center of our palm. So we use the right hand, the right thumb to just massage the center of our left palm, just gently in the circle clockwise direction. And say, Srimataji, by your grace, I am protected from all the challenges, and I will be victorious over all the challenges to my ascent. Srimataji, by your grace, I am protected by all the challenges, and I will be victorious over all the challenges to my ascent. We can use our left thumb to just massage in a clockwise direction the center of our right palm, which is the place of our Sahasrara. He says, Srimataji, verily you are victory over all the challenges to my ascent. Sri Mataji, verily you are the victory over all the challenges to my ascent. Again, having both our hands on our lap, just feeling the vibrations. We place our right hand on the Sahasrara, gently press down on top of the forehead, on top of our head, and just rotate in a clockwise direction. Mother, by your grace, please establish my self-realization. Mother, by your grace, please establish my self-realization. And just raise your hand a few inches above your head and let your attention rest in between the gap of your hand and the Sahasrara. We just listen to the three great mantras with our attention sitting like that. And after a while, you can move your left hand on top of your Sahasrara and then still let your attention sit in between. keeping your attention on that space above the Sahasrara. Or just wash our feet and take our feet out of the water and just listen to Mother's talk. Again, through the talk, have your hands on our lap. Keep intermittently keeping our attention, just watching the vibrations on our hands.
So now we are coming to the end of our first half tour. Now we have to look back upon ourselves and try to find out what have we achieved out of this. We must understand that Sahaja Yoga is not done through brain activities. Like many people think that if you just tell yourself you have to be like this, it will work out. If you have to all the time inform yourself that, oh, you must get rid of a particular problem, it will be all right. Or some people think that if they tell somebody that this is wrong with you and you should get well, it will be all right. It is not so. Because Sahaja Yoga does not work on mental level. It works on spiritual level, which is a much higher level than the mental level. So what you have to do is to understand how to correct your chakras. And you must understand how to work out your machines. Perhaps people still live on mental level and try to solve problems on mental level. And that's why all the problems start coming up. Now, if you have a problem with any chakras, or there is anything catching, or you find that there's something wrong, no use working it out on any other level but spiritual level. Some people believe that if they have dressed up like something, or if they outwardly behave like something, they become that. That is not true. Like we have hippies in the West, and they think that they have become primitive. You do not become primitive by believing into it. Because you are so overdeveloped that you cannot become primitive. So by just doing something mentally, we do not become. Now this mental level can go even further in a subtler way into people. Some of you might feel that by knowing some of the artis and things by heart, you will achieve great. Is not true also, because that is also just words. But if that is an awakened thing within you, then they become a mantra. And then you can work it out. But first of all, you must achieve a certain standard to have that power to create the mantras. Also, when you say samarthi, it's not necessarily possible that it will work out. Let us face the things as they are and not to be conditioned by anything else. You have to achieve a certain depth within yourself to even to enlighten the mantra. First of all, you should have clear-cut vibrations, minimum of minimum. If you have certain chakras catching, then try to improve your chakras with the photograph. With all due respect to the photograph. It's only the photograph which is going to work it out, nothing else. Or if I'm there. But once you have achieved a certain state of enlightenment, then you can use mantras, otherwise also it will help you. But first of all, your heart must be clear. I have found out in general there are two chakras overwhelmingly not working all right in most of the Western people. First is the heart. That means heart is not clear. That heart is not clean. That in the heart you still are a small person. In the heart you have not placed your mother. You have to purify your heart by looking at the photograph and putting all loving feelings about your mother, understanding her work and putting her into your heart. If the heart is not clear, then everything has no meaning because it is a dark heart which is doing all these things. The heart has to be clean, absolutely surrendered, and must try to put me before everything else. I can tell you because we are all Sahaja Yogis. I cannot say this to people who are not Sahaja Yogis. Now we always try to relate Sahaja Yoga from our own terms, not from the terms that belong to God. God is what He is. He cannot change Himself. You have to change. So whatever we think about God, we want to put on that. For example, if someone thinks that he tries to be nice or good to me, or if he is close to me, so-called, and if he thinks he is organizing better or he is doing this work or that work, or anything else like that, where he feels that he is important because he is doing this job or that job, then one must know that all this is mental. Actually, you are doing nothing. Whenever you try to do something, you really confuse yourself and confuse me also. You have seen yesterday's example. I was sure that they had to go next day, but nobody would listen to me and they rushed away and they found that the tickets were for the next day. This knowledge comes to you if you are clear-hearted. As yesterday I said, you better not come. I didn't know what was the situation there. I just said, don't come. Finished. Because I knew what was going to happen there. So this clear-cut idea comes to you when your heart is clean. But first of all, people do not understand that you have to work it through your heart and not through your brain. When we have to work out things through our brain, we try to develop our brain, isn't it? By memorizing, by practicing something, teaching our brain how to think, how to go this way, that way. We try to train our brain. Now we have to train our heart in Sahaja Yoga. And to train our heart in Sahaja Yoga, one has to know first of all that it is enveloped either by ego or by superego. The limbic area actually represents the heart. And if there is ego, heart will always be so-called. It will not be the real heart that will be working, but it's only mental projection. And you will feel that I'm doing it from my heart. That's not true. Now then, supposing what should we do if we have ego? You might say you should try to sort of tell yourself that that's not good and this and that and all kinds of mental suggestions or auto-suggestions or the way psychiatrists and all that give you suggestions. That's again mental. So that's not the way it is going to work out. We must understand that for that what we have to do is to raise the left side and put it to the right side. There's no other way out. You have to just work it out with your hands. Your hands are working it out and not your brain. So use your hands and the methods of Sahaja Yoga. Now, everyone must have a regular sitting in the water every day. That's important. Every morning you must do your meditation. Because on mental level, we feel we have been with mother, all right. This exposure is all right. You came, you saw how Indians are and how they are light on their feet and how they are good for Sahaja Yoga. But after seeing all that, you have to know that Sahaja Yoga is to be worked out, it is not to be thought out. You just cannot think about it. Whatever you may try to do through your thought, you cannot achieve any results in Sahaja Yoga. You have to use your hands, you have to use your feet, you have to soak your feet in the water because water is the ocean. All these 5 chakras, or say 6 chakras, which are, I say 5 because the one is the Muladhara chakra, which is the 7th, and the topmost is the brain. So in between 5 chakras which are there are to be handled fully with the idea that they are basically made of matter. And these 5 elements constitute the body of these chakras. Now these chakras, if they are to be corrected, we have to correct them by taking out all the problems of these chakras into the elements from which they come. For example, a person who is a very right-sided person, so he has to give a balance by the left side. Of course, raising with the hand is all right, but what about the element? Right-sided person has all the elements which give heat. You can say the light, we can say the fire. So for people who are right-sided, the light is not going to help much. Like if you put the light before the photograph, and those who are ego-oriented people, if you just use the light, it's not going to work out. So what is going to work out is the Mother Earth and the water element, which is cooling. Even ice is very helpful to people who are right-sided. So all cooling effects should be used for correcting your right-sidedness so that you cool it down. Same about food. In food, those who are right-sided people should take to foods which are left-sided, that is carbohydrates, means they should become partly vegetarians or quite a lot of vegetarians, and should eat things at the most like chicken, but not fishes, not seafoods, because they are all hot. That's how you treat your material side of your chakras. Now the left-sided people should use again the Deepa, means the light or the fire, to correct their left side. Also in food, such people should take more nitrogenous, means protein, and foods like that. They should take more proteins. Now, as far as Sahaja Yoga is concerned, the basic thing is Kundalini. And the Kundalini, as I have told you, is the pure desire. Again, listen to it carefully, pure desire. That means all other desires are impure. There's only one pure desire, and that is to be one with the divine, one with the Brahma, one with God. That's the only pure desire. All other desires are impure. So, train your mind gradually to achieve that desire as the main thing. If you train your mind in that fashion, then you can develop pure desire. So all other desires will negate gradually. All right. Now, this desire to be one with the divine is the purest and the highest. And to achieve that, what have you to do? To achieve that, you have to keep your mother pleased. Very simple. Adi Shankaracharya has said that you don't bother about anything, just keep your mother pleased. You have to be a simple person, not try to be cunning with me or clever with me. I know everyone very well. Try to tell yourself that I should say things, I should behave in a manner that will please my mother. Supposing you are in Sahaja Yoga and you are doing wrong things, it is not going to please me at all. So, how to please mother? That you should try to see for yourself. What kind of a thing pleases me the best? I am also a very simple person. So I want a simple-hearted person. Who is simple-hearted? For example, a person who tries to show off too much, try to be always the first, or try to be always the sort of a cinema star. I don't like such people. You have to be very quiet and extremely shy about showing off yourself. Do I show off that I am Adishakti? I do not. I live like you, absolutely like you. Do I try to show off? Then why should you try to show off to me? So that kind of a person is no good. Secondly, you should not be tense with me. There is no need to be tense. If I find something wrong with you, if I scold you also, it's for your good. If I say a good word, it is for your good. My Sahaja Yoga works this way. I have no malice against anyone in the whole world, no malice at all, and no anger for anyone in this world. I have nothing but compassion. But in compassion, sometimes I have to scold, and in the same compassion, I have to speak in a very compassionate manner. So, both ways, it helps you. It helps you both ways. So, thank God that you have somebody who will correct you at the right time for your good, because you are saints. And you have come on this earth to establish God's kingdom. That's what you have to do. And if you are the people who are not respected, who are not sensible, who haven't got the dignity, who behave in a cheapish way, how can people accept? So this heart chakra is to be first looked after. That with your heart, desire that you'll keep your mother pleased. Even if I'm angry with you, don't feel bad about it. That's one of the signs that Sahaja Yoga has not yet developed. If I scold you, it is because there's something in you which has to go away and which I must scold, so it will go. So accept it just as a correcting point that is good for you. Some sort of a thorn is within you which has to be taken out by another thorn, and mother has taken it out. Once you start understanding the compassion of your mother, you will not mind. My saying anything to you, my correcting you, or my telling you that this is wrong, because I have to do that. Those people who do not have a good heart, clean heart, cannot understand this. They cannot understand this. Very difficult. So you keep your heart clean towards your mother. Whatever I do for you is just a blessing, always a blessing for you. Whatever I do for you is a blessing, remember that.
Let's just keep our attention on top of the Sahasrara and stay in meditation for a few minutes. Let's raise our kundalinis and put a bandha on. Thank you, everyone. Jai Shri Mataji. We haven't got live streaming today, so I'm going to stop the recording. And please feel free to have your videos on and say hello. Jai Shri Mataji, everyone. Thank you very much. Have a great week.